Little update on the i500. Right now we have very little wind. It's not turning hardly anything. You see those trees, the way they're moving. It's kind of going 5, maybe 10 miles an hour. The gusts pick up to about 15 sometimes. And all right, so as before, we took the i500 off of this grid tie inverter. We've got it running straight to its own rectifier over here, which goes down to this meter. Now, tied to that grid tie inverter, the most I ever saw coming out of it was on a really wild, like crazy wild day. It was pushing 60, 70 watts, somewhere in that neighborhood. This is going straight down here to that battery, the one that's on top. I've tried several different batteries to figure out the one that works the best. And at 12 volts, this turbine is bogged down. And I think that was what was happening with this thing. As soon as it got to 12 volts, this inverter kicked in, started loading things up, and it could never get past it. With it over 12 volts, and of course all my wind is going to die. I had it making 100, 120 watts earlier, and as soon as I got my camera out, the wind died and it went away. That's what it's going to do now too. But even here, just a second ago, you guys saw it was making, 30, 40, something like that. The closer it gets to 18 volts, the better it runs. We'll just sit here and point at it for a moment. Notice the wind just completely flatlined out there. So 3 watts, but the wind is really moving like 2 miles an hour or something like that. It's barely waving the bushy grass stuff right outside the door. As soon as I turned away, it was like making 30 something watts. Even doing 20 to 30 is so much more than I was seeing regularly coming off of that inverter. So I'm still going to play with my batteries and stuff. I think one of the biggest things is that all of my loose batteries are completely garbage. They're trash. They're not good for anything. So this one was the only one that I had that had so little resistance going across the leads that it would spool up. Whereas the one underneath it, that one's got so much resistance going across the leads, it won't never get above 10 volts. That one is just open. It just, freewheeled. And those are some measure in between, but still crummy. This one's the only one that I had that would do pretty decent. So I think that I'm going to go and grab a fresh, clean, brand new battery, and we're going to hook it up to that. And I'm going to put a little controller on it to where, whenever voltage gets too high, it'll turn on a light or something so that there's a little load. And we'll see how it operates that way. But I think this is closer to what this turbine needs. I think it needs to be between 12 and 20 volts for it to really be kicking out. Hopefully later this week we're going to have some more wind and I'll have a better load on it. I just wanted to post this and point out that I think that this is getting this turbine closer to where it needs to run. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day.